our Prime Minister, Minister, colleagues, all our guests from all around the world, and of course our own SMEs and MSMEs from around the country. I'm extremely delighted to be here this morning to address all of you on the economic landscape and investment opportunities in Papua New Guinea. My purpose is to inform all our audience in the next 30 years Papua New Guinea will be one of the most exciting investment destinations throughout the world. The opportunities here will be unparalleled. Yes, we have our challenges today, but the future is so exciting, and we are looking for investors right across the world to come and help us unlock our vast economic potential. Just some quick stats to give you some background. Papua New Guinea was independent in 1975. We have been independent now for 48 years. We currently have a population of 11 million, growing at the rate of 3.2%, meaning we are a growing nation in terms of population, and we are becoming an even bigger market ourselves. Our main mode of language is English, even though we have 800 different languages and 1,000 tribes. This year we expect our GDP to hit 120 billion, and we expect to double the size of our economy within the next 7 years. We expect by next year our economic growth rate to go from 4% to 5% on average, and we expect it in many years to come to be even higher than 5%. We will be one of the highest growth economies of the world, comparable only to countries like China and Indonesia. Papua New Guinea is a resource-rich nation. We are blessed with so much copper, gas, nickel, gold. We currently have 9 resource projects on the go and in operation right now. Over the next 10 years, we will have no less than 5 new major resource projects. We have a new mine we expect to be licensed by the end of this year, APEC Haus, which will become one of the biggest gold mines of the world. We will by next year go into the feed stage and the construction phase of our second LNG project called Papua. After 5 years of construction, we will start the next LNG project called PNA. We are looking to license another big mining operation in a place called Frida in the East and West Pacific provinces. We have the Pasca gas project coming up, nickel projects, and other exciting projects. So the next 10 years will be the most exciting time in our nation's history. Never have we seen so many resource projects coming online in a very short period of time. This is going to be the go-to nation, our friends. Opportunities will be endless. Apart from our mining and petroleum resources, Papua New Guinea is blessed with the world's 3rd largest rainforest. We are host to 5% of the world's global biodiversity. We have large tracts of fertile land for agriculture, rivers for hydro, sunlight for solar power. By the way, we have no winter here like Canada. We are a tropical country. So much wind. We have untapped geothermal resources. We are the last frontier of tourism, completely untapped. And we produce 20% of the world's tuna, 550,000 metric tons. Only 10% is caught and processed locally. In the future, we want to process all of that in Papua New Guinea. We are looking for investors in the fishery space. Some states, this year expenditures, we did 25 billion, while our revenue will hit just over 20 billion. And like I said earlier, our GDP will climb to 120 billion. Our debt to GDP ratio this year will be 49%. Our growth for this year, 4%. And from next year onwards, we expect to climb back to 5% and we'll go on from there. And we expect that growth rate to remain for the next 30 years. The primary focus of the Marape government, we need to improve law and order, and the only way to do that is to trade and investment. We have a high level of unemployment. We have to find jobs for our young people. Without investments to unlock our potential, we ain't going to get there. So our focus is on sustainable, inclusive economic growth. And we realize we can't do that without investors, both in the MSME space and in large-scale investments. And we welcome all our indigenous family who've come to our shores for this forum. Please do not hesitate to talk to us and see if there's a niche, there's an opportunity for you to come and join us in some of the exciting opportunities that Papua New Guinea has to offer. For many, many years, we go and we market the opportunities only to the big corporates around the world. But from this year onwards, we want to market the opportunities to the World Indigenous Global family. That's why we're hosting this summit. Why trade and investment? We want to create jobs. We must reduce our law and order incidents. We must increase internal revenue, reduce the rate of our borrowings, reduce the cost of doing business, and make Papua New Guinea a more attractive country to do business and to live and work in. We can't do that without growing the economy. Our big challenges, of course, our fast-growing population, high level of youth unemployment, our law and order challenges, educating and skilling our people, improving the health of our population, our expensive and unreliable electricity. It's a very big issue for us. We are looking for investors to invest in the hydro space, solar space, geothermal space. And later today we'll have a presentation on a company that's investing in hydro. They partnered the government to invest in hydro. It's a very exciting development. Papua New Guinea also does not want to export raw materials. We don't want to export our coffee. We want to process our coffee in PNG and export final products. We don't want to export our cocoa in raw form. We want to produce chocolate. We want to produce other manufactured goods before we get it out to the market. We don't want to export raw fish. We want to process our fish in PNG before it gets out to the market. We don't want to export nickel in future. We want to export electric car batteries made from nickel from Papua New Guinea. We want to export electric cars made from our raw materials. That's the future for us. We want to be a manufacturing hub of the world. We have the resources here. And we are looking for investors to come into this space. And we will go all out to provide incentives and provide opportunities to partner with our state-owned companies, with our land-owner companies, with our government entities. We will go all out to partner manufacturing companies to come and process our raw materials here before we export to market. This is a very exciting place. We have a land border with Indonesia. They have 270 million people, one of the biggest markets of the world. Just imagine if you produce here using our raw materials and export to that market. They have a big appetite to buy export manufactured goods from countries like us. China, our Prime Minister has one of the closest relationships with the president of China. He was only there last week. We are now working on a free trade agreement with China and Indonesia. This will be the go-to markets of the future. Just imagine if you're located here and you're producing here and you've got two of the world's biggest markets next to you. The cost of getting goods to the market will be very cheap, and the raw materials are here in Papua New Guinea. Some of our interesting targets. We want to create 1 million new jobs over the next 4 years. Our government, through the leadership of our Prime Minister, decided in 2019 to go down the path of special economic zones, learning from countries like China, the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia. We enacted legislation in 2019, and we already have started economic zones in this country to give incentives for investors to come into identified area where we help to provide state land, make it available, and provide incentives, and the government assists with infrastructure to enable investors to invest in exciting special economic zones. We'll have some presentations later on one or two of the first ones that they've already started, and we are looking for investors to invest in special economic zones in Papua New Guinea. We currently still import a lot of food from other countries, starting with rice. We don't want to import rice anymore. We want to start to replace all our rice imports. We're expecting our government very soon to make a major announcement. We are going to go into a joint venture with the indigenous, private, locally owned commercial farm, the first in this country to start producing rice. We import 900 million kina worth of rice, or just over 400,000 tons of rice every year. This needs to stop, and we are looking for investors in the rice space. We don't need to be importing coffee. We need to process our own coffee here to stop imports. We don't need to be importing chocolate. Why can't we process our own cocoa instead of exporting cocoa? We don't need to be importing fish. They're taken out of this country, and yet we import the same canned fish into our country. We should be processing fish here. We can start dairy farms here. We don't need to be importing dairy milk and other dairy products from other countries. If you're interested in this space, please talk to us. So there's so many exciting opportunities to be involved in the food space. Like I told you, we're expecting over the next 10 years to start up 7 new mining and petroleum projects on top of the 9 we already have. And we are looking for major investments in fisheries, in downstream forestry, in climate change projects, in manufacturing, in energy. Our government has also started what we call a state equity fund. We are willing to put down government money to partner the private sector to go into joint venture businesses. That has already started, and we are looking to grow that portfolio even more. And annually now we are putting funding just to de-risk the investment of our private sector partners. We are working on free trade agreements with, in particular, Asia, to find new markets for our goods, our finished goods, and our products. And we are working to unlock more of our land to be owned by customary land owners, to have state titles, so we can use that land for commercial development. In Papua New Guinea, only 3% of the land is owned by the government. We have to unlock or give leases to our own people to have state titles to their land, so we can use the land for commercial development. And that's a big program of our government. Our focus in terms of our sub-sectors, apart from mining and petroleum, agriculture is our #1 priority. Forestry, downstream processing, fisheries, hospitality and tourism, carbon trade, banking and finance, manufacturing and downstream processing, food import replacement, and we need to build more houses for our growing urban cities and towns. So those are some sectors that we are really going to focus on. We've already started, and we need to continue investments in this space. We realize our primary driver for economic growth has to be special economic zones. We have a booth downstairs for the Special Economic Zone Authority. Talk to them if you're interested in investing in one of our special economic zones. They'll tell you how to be licensed, what the process is. You can grab an application form there. And these are some sectors that we are looking to provide special incentives. And our government is going to go all out to facilitate investment. We give you incentives, we provide enabling infrastructure. We look at joint venture projects, we are prepared to provide equity as joint venture partners. We're happy to help you find a market for your products. To give you an example, our government through our Prime Minister worked very, very hard to secure future markets for our LNG projects in China, in Asia, and in Japan. This is the part that the government plays and the role the government plays to secure future market for our private sector investment. I've talked about food. Look at some numbers. Chicken, we need to replace over 100 million kilo worth of imports. Dairy, feed for pigs and chicken. We import everything right now. We don't need to be importing over 200 million kilo worth of coffee when we produce the raw material here. And we are still importing coconut oil when we have a lot of coconut in this country. We are looking for companies with processing expertise and technology. In fisheries, I already told you, we supply 20% of the world's tuna. We are the biggest supplier of the world market. And we need to build 10 new processing plants immediately. And we are looking for partners. And we have a planned industrial park in Medang, a place called Medang. It will become an economic zone, and we're hoping that our first processing plants will be built next year. And we are looking for investors in that space. Please talk to us if you're interested in that space. And of course in agriculture, we have vast potential. Energy, untapped. We have too many blackouts. We have expensive diesel-fired power plants. We don't need that. We need to go to clean energy. We want reliable power and cheaper power. A lot of opportunities in this space. Tourism is completely untapped. We are the world's most diverse nation. We've got so many potential new products and destinations, and we are looking for investments in that space. Let me conclude by saying this. Over the next 30 years, PNG will go through a sustained economic boom over the next 20 to 30 years. There ain't a lot of countries in the world that has the growth prospects we do, because we have the resources. We don't want to be a raw material supplier to the world. We want to process everything, create jobs in Papua New Guinea, add value here, and export to the growing markets of Asia who are next door to us. We are looking to partner the private sector, both our own local SMEs, landlord companies, and also from our indigenous families throughout the world. Under win-win partnerships. Together, we can. I want to thank you all for listening in. This will be the most exciting nation over the next 30 years. Come and invest in Papua New Guinea, be our partner, and we can win together. Thank you very much for listening.